Hello there, dear viewers, and welcome welcome all to part two of the BBC News Quiz of the Year. In part one yesterday, we did okay. We did adequately. 7 out of 13. That's about the lowest I'd hoped to get and still say, yeah, that was respectable. For me, at least, if we're going to hit that goal of getting at least half of them right. So we're back again for some more genuinely remembered factoids from earlier in the year and some haphazardly guessed answers as well. Pardon me. Now, if you're noticing something in the chat, by the way, yes, that is the exclusive, brand new Captain Swiss channel membership, which allows you to post custom emojis. You see, Raid Shadow Legends, they were knocking at my door. They were setting up camp on my front drive, saying, "Swiss, please shill for us in your videos. We want to throw a big bucket full of money at you." And I said to them, "No, no, Raid. I won't be shilling for your brand. I'm going to shill for myself." That's the way we're going to do things here. Anyhow, let's get on with the quiz, shall we? So, part two. Part two of Quiz of the Year. What made horses run wild through London? Oh, God, I don't know. Question number one. Tens of millions of people in North America watched day turn to night in April as a solar eclipse cut its way across Mexico, the US, and Canada, which was the first US state to experience totality. And hello there, Lee Hallam here in the chat. Hi, Lee. Which was the you've arrived just in time. We're only on the first question here. Which was the first US state to experience totality? Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Now I'm trying to think geographically. Is it going to be like the because it's going to be moving across the sky, so it's either going to be like the leftmost state or the rightmost state, depending on which way the sun moves. I want to say the leftmost state. So what's the leftmost state out of Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas? Arizona, he guesses. I want to say Arizona, maybe. Let's go with Arizona. No, it was Texas. Okay, we're off to a good start. No, it was Texas. Once you see one, you want to see them all, said 101-year-old Laverne Bizer, who has now seen 13. The path of totality spanned the continent, beginning over a Mexican beach town, cutting its way through central US states before ending its journey on the shores of Canada's Newfoundland. The next total eclipse will be visible in parts of Europe in August 2026. All right, then. That was a practice one, guys. Okay. Lee Hallam says right-hand state. Oh, well. If I couldn't get it right off my own back. Next question. 5 horses belonging to the Army's household cavalry caused chaos in London as they ran through the city centre, colliding with several vehicles, including a double-decker bus. The animals threw off their riders after being spooked by what noise? Was it building work, gunfire, or a vehicle backfiring? Army's household cavalry. I mean, at first I was going to say, it wouldn't be gunfire, but then if they're doing some kind of a ceremonial type thing where they have to fire some guns, maybe that. A vehicle backfiring feels likely, but then again, that's only like a bit of a one-off sound. So building work could maybe be the most consistently loud and disruptive noise for them, maybe. I think what I'm trying to say, dear viewers, is that I don't actually know the answer to this one either. Lee Hallam says it's a poor show if they are scared of guns. That's a very fair point, Lee, isn't it? This is the Army's household cavalry. They can't be scared of the sound of guns. And a vehicle backfiring would sound like guns. So it's got to be building work, surely. I hope. I'm going to say building work. Yeah, there we go. Okay, building work. Good show. Good show. I'm giving half the credit to Lee for that one. That's right. It was loud building work when materials were dropped from a height right next to the horses. The chase began As the Household Cavalry was preparing for King Charles III's birthday parade, trooping the colour, 3 soldiers and a civilian cyclist needed hospital treatment. 4 of the 5 horses had to be euthanized. No, I'm only joking. They've returned to military service, with 1 still recuperating in the care of a charity. And Lee adds, though my brother's dog is scared of balloons. All right, next one here. Okay, one wrong, one right. Okay, so far. It's a sport one. Caitlin Clark's record-breaking college basketball career came to a close. I've started, so I'll finish. Caitlin Clark's record-breaking college basketball career came to a close with defeat in her final game before turning professional. Clark scored more than 3,900 points in her time, more than any college athlete in history. Whose record did she break? LeBron James, Pete Maravich, Kelsey Plum. LeBron James is the only other basketball player I've heard of out of them. I guess I'll go. I've never ever heard of Pete Maravich. I don't know Kelsey Plum, but I was thinking maybe if it was a record for women's college basketball, then the record that she broke might also be a woman's name. Maybe. Why is the BBC covering American school sport? Says Lee Howard. That's a very good question, Lee. I'd like to know the answer to that as well. So they can throw you with this kind of crap where you can come into it thinking, yeah, I keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening in the world, and then they go, no, not if you've been looking across the pond to what these high schools are doing. Okay, I'm gonna go Kelsey Plum. I'm gonna do it on the assumption that the previous record holder was a woman because it was women's basketball. Nope. Flawed logic. It was Pete Maravich, who held the record since 1970. Clark's performance led to record-breaking viewing figures for the college game in the US, and she became the #1 pick in the Women's National Basketball Association draft. In October, she was named the WNBA Rookie of the Year for her efforts with the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever. All right, then. They gave us a tough one there. It wasn't very fair. We'll have better luck this time. Look, here we are. We're back onto nice familiar territory here. It's politics. The Scottish National Party's Humza Yousaf resigned as First Minister of Scotland after little more than a year in the post. His departure followed the collapse of a power-sharing deal with which party? Was it the Scottish Greens, Scottish Labour, or the Scottish Liberal Democrats? I know this one. And of course, it was the Scottish Greens, because the Scottish Greens are the other pro-independence party in Scotland. The SNP would not be working with Labour or the Liberal Democrats. There, yeah, easy, says Lee. Exactly. We got one. They threw us a bone. Happy days. Scottish Greens. There we are. Scottish Greens indeed. You're right. It was the Scottish Greens. Yousaf had been facing 2 no-confidence votes, with the Greens, led by Lorna Slater and Patrick Harvey, saying they would vote to remove him. John Swinney became Scotland's 7th First Minister after no other candidate stood against him in the SNP leadership contest. Switzerland's Nemo won the Eurovision Song Contest in the Swedish city of Malmö. That's probably not how you pronounce it. In May, with their entry, The Code. Which country's entry was disqualified from the grand final after an alleged backstage altercation? I remember this one because I am one of those exceptional individuals who actually watches Eurovision every year. The country that had been disqualified was the Netherlands. And I don't... Was it to do with someone on their team in their act saying something about Israel's participation in Eurovision? Obviously, what with everything going on in Israel and Gaza, I think that's what it was about. So I'm going to say Netherlands. Bubblevis is here in the chat. Hello there, Bubblevis. Also says Netherlands. Oh, well, you'd know, wouldn't you? That's right. It was Joost Klein from the Netherlands. The singer was removed just hours before the grand final after an alleged altercation with a camera woman. Oh, okay. Swedish police subsequently dropped the case, saying they could not prove a gesture Klein had made was capable of causing serious fear or had meant to scare the camera woman. Okay. Interesting. Why did I think it's to do with Israel then? Or maybe there's more of a story at play here. Maybe this makes up for some minor elements of a larger picture. I don't know. But we got the right country at the very least. Donald Trump became the first former or sitting US president to be convicted in a criminal trial as he was found guilty of breaking election law. What crime did prosecutors say he committed? Was it conspiring to overturn the 2020 presidential election result in Georgia, disguising hush money as legal expenses, or exaggerating the value of his business? Is this a trick here where all three of them are in fact things that happened, but only one of them is the one that he got the criminal conviction for? I think that's what they're angling at here. I think the criminal conviction was for disguising hush money as legal expenses. I think Lee Hallam also thinks it was that. Let's see. It was. Okay. Good stuff. Yes, it was hush money. Adult film actress Stormy Daniels was paid $130,000 to keep quiet about her claim she had sex with Trump, which he denies. Trump disguised the payment as legal expenses to protect his reputation in the run-up to the 2016 presidential election. But he has yet to be sentenced and may still appeal against the conviction. I mean, at this point, he's about to be president again, isn't he? I don't think any of this stuff's likely to touch him at this point, is it? Frank is here and says, "Evening, Swiss." Hello there, Frank. Okay, next question. Zendaya, Nicki Minaj, and Barry Keoghan, I want to say, were among the big names to dazzle on the red carpet at the annual Met Gala in New York. The dress code was the Garden of Time. Oh God, these people are the reason that Trump won in America. You know, the dress code was the Garden of Time. Which celebrity accessorized their outfit with a rose in a block of ice? Was it Camila Cabello, Ariana Grande, or Katy Perry? I don't think it was Katy Perry, because the only stuff I've heard about Katy Perry this year was that her album came out and it was a bit of a flop, apparently. So maybe if she'd made a splash at the Met Gala, that might have also been mentioned in subsequent things I heard about Katy Perry. So I'm going to guess either Camila Cabello or Ariana Grande. I really don't know which. I've not heard of Camila Cabello, so I'm going to go with Ariana Grande because I know who that person is. It's not great logic, but it is logic. And it was wrong logic. Sorry, no, it was singer-songwriter Camila Cabello. The large block of ice accessorized her Ludovic de Saint-Cernin gown. "I can't feel my hands," she told onlookers. Well, you know why that? No, you know what? I shouldn't do this. I should not do this. Here's me acting all, better by going, "Oh, you silly person, holding a big block of ice. What do you think is going to happen to your hands? Of course they're going to get cold." But of course, I have in my possession the world's hottest chip. And it won't be long before, for the pleasure of the YouTube audience, I end up eating the world's hottest chip and attempt to give my predictions for 2025. And I'm sure, upon eating the world's hottest chip, I will complain that it tastes hot. So am I really any better than the woman who carried a rose in a block of ice and complained that she had cold hands? Probably not. Probably not, Need to have a little bit of self-reflection as well, I suppose. Who cares about these people? Says Lee Hallam. Good question, Lee. On to the next one. I've now lost track of how many questions I've got right or wrong, but I feel like I've got more wrong than I've got right. An American football star caused an outcry by telling female college graduates one of their most important roles in life would be homemaker, as well as criticizing abortion and LGBT pride. For which NFL team does Harrison Butker play? Is it the Dallas Cowboys, the Kansas City Chiefs, or the Tennessee Titans? Bubbavis advises don't eat the chip; it might hurt your stomach. See, I've got to do it, Bubbavis. Not only is it a Christmas present, it'd be quite rude not to use it. But I feel like because I've said I'm going to do it now, I need to do it. It's a legal product that could be bought and sold legally. Hopefully, it won't be that bad. I Dallas Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs, Tennessee Titans. Well, clearly going by the guesswork I was doing earlier, which is vote for the thing that I've heard of, isn't paying off. But then again, maybe because it hasn't paid off yet, it will now pay off. The gambler's fallacy. Dallas Cowboys. I've heard of them. Does he play for the Dallas Cowboys? No, he doesn't. He plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Wow, give us some British sport. I won't get any of those right either, but at least I won't complain that it's all about American sport. You missed. Butker played for the reigning. I'm not even reading the rest of that. I don't care. The UK's largest new indoor entertainment arena suffered a very bumpy start. Resignations, falling debris, and concerts cancelled in the last minute delayed the opening of Co-op Live in Manchester, which pop acts had been due to open the UK leg of their world tour there. Was it Olivia Rodrigo, Bruce Springsteen, or Taylor Swift? I know Taylor Swift had a very big, well-publicized, popular world tour. Was it a world tour? She definitely came to the UK. I think it was a world tour this year. And there was a lot of fanfare made about how many people came to see it and how much it boosted the local economy, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to guess it's Taylor Swift. She's the only one of the three that I've heard of having come to the UK this year to perform music live. So there we are. No, it was Olivia Rodrigo. I need to take a moment for a little bit more self-reflection. God damn it. Did any of you guys know that? Lee Ham says, I thought it was Peter Kay. His kept being cancelled. All right, Ron's question, 10 out of 13. I think I need to get all three of these right if we're going to have any chance of meeting the halfway mark for part 2. Tributes were paid to writer and broadcaster Dr. Michael Mosley, who died after going missing while on holiday in June. In which country had Dr. Mosley and his wife been staying? I believe I know this one. I remember hearing about it at the time. I'm pretty sure it was Greece. There's a little bit of me thinking maybe Italy. Definitely not France. I'm pretty sure it's Greece. That just rings a bell from when it was in the news. Lee Adams says Taylor Swift was the Starmer scandal, all those tickets. Yeah, see, I remembered that, but I'd thought maybe, if it's a world tour, maybe she's doing, maybe she's doing all kinds of different venues across the UK. Maybe it could have been this co-op thing as well. Oh, well. Right, I'm saying Greece for this one, guys. So, get your votes in, make a note. Lee Hallam says Greece, awful island that was all rock. Let's go with Greece, folks. And it was indeed Greece. There we are. Okay, question 11 out of 13. More than 200,000 music fans gathered in Glastonbury Festival to see sets from Coldplay, Shania Twain, Little Sims, Dua Lipa, and many more. After a rumoured Sunday evening set by Madonna fell through, which star headlined the last night? Was it Doja Cat, Janelle Monáe, or... Hang on. I was brought up for my boomerism last time for mispronouncing this. It's not pronounced S-Z-O. It's pronounced SZA. SZA? That doesn't mean I know the answer, but at least I can correctly pronounce all the possible answers. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I've only heard of two of these, Doja Cat and SZA. I'd only heard of SZA because it was mentioned in the quiz episode yesterday. Let's say SZA. Why not? Oh, what a nice guess. All right then. They are obviously SZA fans at the BBC, says Lee. SZA I like a little bit, says Bubblevis. It was SZA. Other highlights from the weekend included the set from the Sugar Babes, Sophie Ellis-Bextor, The Streets, Avril Lavigne. My God, it's the 2000s greatest hits, isn't it? And actor Michael J. Fox playing guitar on 2 songs with Coldplay on the Pyramid stage. The festival will return in 2025, though tickets have already sold out before taking one of its occasional fallow years in 2026. All right, 12 out of 13. Former Mexico City Mayor Claudia Sheinbaum was elected Mexico's first female president in a historic landslide win. What was her profession before politics? Was she a businesswoman, an energy scientist, or a lawyer? I mean, generally speaking, when we think about politicians, they often tend to be sort of business people or lawyers beforehand, rather than energy scientists. Certainly, if you think of our country, think of our prime minister. So I'm wondering, has energy scientists been thrown in there in order to throw us? They've given us 2 likely answers because we're used to that being what politicians are. So then energy scientist is a little bit quirky, and it turns out to be true. That's what I'm going to go with here. And it was right. Brilliant. Okay, good. Well done. She was an energy scientist. She studied physics before gaining a doctorate in energy engineering. She became an expert in climate change while working in the US and Mexico before moving into politics. She defeated another woman who did business to win the presidency. Quite right. Quite right. All right, then. Final question. Final question, folks. Astronauts Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore saw an 8-day trip to the International Space Station turn into a much longer stay after their spacecraft were found to have problems after launch. Which part of the Boeing Starliner had a fault? See, I had heard of this. I did know that we had some people stranded and that they're being rescued, or there's going to be a rescue attempt early 2025. What part had a fault? Was it the heat shield, the radiators, or the thrusters? I don't know, although I am leaning towards heat shield, personally. I've just seen Bubblevis say thrusters. Given that I came in with heat shield right before you said thrusters, I'm not going to allow your answer to bias mine. I'm not going to copy if you do know and you're correct. I said heat shields. I'm going to stick with heat shields because I feel like it's always the heat shields. But then again, I might be basing that off of a lot of science fiction. No, it was the thrusters. Well done, Bubblevis. You got it right. Bad luck, it was the thrusters. Small helium leaks developed after launch, causing several thrusters to be cut out. Following detailed study of the problem, NASA decided to bring the spacecraft back to Earth without its crew. Miss Williams and Mr. Wilmore are expected. They sound like such teachers, like proper teacher names, don't they? Miss Williams and Mr. Wilmore are expected to return to Earth next year on board a capsule owned by Elon Musk's SpaceX. Bubba says, nice hairdo for that woman. I mean, in fairness to her, you know, I wanted to say something like she had gravity working against her, but that isn't actually technically true, is it? It's more like she didn't have gravity helping her. Anyhow, how did we do? Oh, I'm shocked. I am genuinely shocked. I did not think we'd end up with 7 out of 13 there. I thought it was going to be lower. I thought it was going to be like 5. Okay. I actually matched the score from the first part there. So overall now I'm on 14 out of 26. 14 out of 26 is over half. I remember my numeracy. There we are. All right then. All right, we move on to the final 2 parts in a, I wouldn't quite say a position of strength, but we're on track. We're on track at the very least. Frank says, I got 10 out of 13. I feel a redemption arc coming, Swiss. Well done, Frank, because you got 6 last time, and now you've got 10 out of. Oh, you're doing better than me at the moment. Then, well done, Frank. All right then, guys. Well, that is your lot for today. I hope the rest of you guys playing along did fairly well. As you know now, Bubblevis says 2 out of 13 for me. Honest answer, Bubblevis. Appreciated. So yeah, we'll be back again in the coming days with the final couple parts for this. As always, I will remind you the voting for the Milkies is still open. I'm pretty sure all of you have probably voted by now anyway, but you know, it's my contractual obligation to tell you. I will see you all soon. I hope you have a nice evening. Catch you later on. Last comment real quickly. Hallam says, this is the BBC quiz on American culture and sport. Catch you later, guys.